Welcome.
To Let's Speak on It.
I'm Kamisha,
I'm Latoya.
and here on Let's Speak on It, we talk about an array of topics from self care to romantic relationships. Here on Let's Speak on It, we're going to talk about.
Soul ties.
Upon my quest to get to know about soul ties, I came across a website called morerevolution.com. We'll be taking an excerpt from them and talking about soul ties today. So here we go. People are misinformed and therefore convinced that sex is strictly a single dimensional physical act with no emotional or spiritual connections. Yet after sex, they find themselves mysteriously longing for the person they may not even like. A person, usually women, gives herself sexually to someone, expecting that the intensely intimate act of intercourse would create a bond that would lead to a deeper level of commitment. But soon she discovers that her sexual partner has taken advantage of her need for intimacy and used her vulnerability to get laid. Of course, this leads to a person being emotionally and spiritually bonded. Bonded? Bonded to somebody they deeply resent. Here's the first topic. You are in a physically and or emotionally and or spiritually abusive relationship, but you feel so attached to them that you refuse to cut off the connection and set boundaries to them. So have you ever experienced this or known of anybody?
Yes, I have. My daughter's father. It was a relationship that was crazy. Like everything, it seemed like everything went wrong in that relationship. We would fight. One time when I was pregnant with my daughter, he threw me into a dresser. He stole my money, my rent money before, and it didn't take me a while to get over that relationship because when I was done, enough was enough. But then I began to see the same things in different men, different characteristics, not the abusive side, because as much as he gave, I gave back to him. But with the money stealing, the lies, and the bull crap.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I've also been in a situation like that, um, where I've been verbally abused, and it took me a while to get out of it. It took me a while to wake up and um, figure out that this wasn't the connection for me. So I definitely can relate. Okay, so topic number two is you have left a relationship maybe a long time ago, but you think about the person obsessively. You can't get them out of your mind no matter what you do. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes, that's what soul ties do. Like, you think that you ever realize when you over a person and you see them again, and like the connection is so strong that you don't understand why. Like, I don't like this dude. I hate this dude, but you like it's like, ooh, he's looking good to me, or ooh, damn, why am I like this? Like, why am I so connected to him? Because you have soul ties. Like, it's hard to get rid of soul ties. Once you lay down and sleep with that person, it's hard. And you got to remember that each person he slept with or you slept with, it's interlocked in those spirits. So if you realize that you're suffering from depression, or you don't like yourself, or anything like that, it's because of the spirit that you took on of him. If you haven't been cursing, or if you haven't been drinking a lot, and you start to drink, that's his soul tied into yours. So it's like you're experiencing what he's doing.
Yes, exactly. I've experienced that as well. And I feel like you have to be cognizant, you have to be aware that you're doing those things. I remember one time I was taking on some of those characteristics, and I was like, and it it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was like, oh my gosh, my ex used to do that. And then I was like, okay, I need to rearrange my life and get this together. So
Mm-hmm.
it definitely becomes apparent real quick. Number three, whenever you do anything, make a decision, have a conversation with someone you feel like this person is with you or watching you. I'm going to definitely attest to that. I definitely feel like at times I can say, oh yeah, I feel like this person is thinking about me or whatever. Like, or you think about this person and then you're like, I know this person is thinking about me because I'm thinking about them. And 9 times out of 10, you potentially could be right because the soul tie is so strong. I've definitely gone through that. So I can definitely attest. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I can attest to that because you have to be aware what you give off to that person as well. Because I was working at Macy's, and this guy that I used to mess with, he would come to where I work at all the time, trying to find me, trying to talk to me, and I would have to hide out in the dressing room just to get rid of him because I was like, oh, like it became kind of stalkerish. Like you have to be careful what kind of vibes you're giving to that person during them intimate times because they can become stalkers. They can become killers. It's crazy how soul ties intertwine.
Yeah, incredibly right. Like, I've definitely experienced that to the 10th degree. Um, I actually had a soul tie with somebody, but I feel like the soul tie for him was much stronger,
Mm-hmm.
and he definitely would stalk me. He would say, "Oh, I saw you at such and such today." And I'm like, "What?" And he would say, "Oh yeah, you were wearing this and you were doing that and you were smiling and this and that." And I would be like, "Hold up. Wait a minute." Um it got really bad, and I had definitely had to cut that off because I was like, wait a minute, this is too crazy. I can't. And yeah, you got to know your boundaries and you got to do what you have to do to cut a person with that kind of a soul tie off because it's literally energetically draining you. So you definitely have to have that heads up. So, yeah. Number 4, when you have sex with someone else, you can't hardly keep yourself from visualizing the person you have a soul tie with.
I don't know if that one is true.
Um, I honestly can, I
Mm-mm.
can honestly say that that's true. Especially if you're still connected to the person with that soul tie. It's like, especially if you had an experience that was mind blowing or better than the experience you're experiencing now. So yeah, I can say that yeah, you're definitely like thinking of that person that you have a soul tie with. Yeah, and it doesn't help that it doesn't help that the next person that you're with has a soul tie to a person that they were with. I experienced that, and I literally was like, okay, this is over. Like, this is done. Put all
So
that in there.
you
But
you're talking about compare and contrast. I've done that. Like
yes,
comparing somebody to somebody else, and you're like, oh no, I can't do this anymore. Like this is not good for enough for me. I'm like wasting my time type stuff because the other person that you had before that was so much better. Yes, that I can't relate to and say. But when you first read it, I was like, I haven't visual,
yeah.
but now that I remember, yes, I have compared and contrasted. I was.
Yeah, but definitely the person that I
Mm-mm.
was had a soul tie with, I definitely um envision that person. And then I feel like my person that I was with or dating had that same thing going on. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, the person that I was with didn't make it no better. I'm not down in this person, but um, you can tell that the person that you're with previously has a soul tie with somebody else. I had an actual dude that had the woman's name tattooed on his chest. So before we even got anywhere, that was a turn off. So I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is over. So yeah, I definitely get that. I understand that. So we're gonna go on to the fifth one. You take on the negative traits of the person that your soul is tied to, and you carry their offenses whether or not you actually agree with them. I believe that we spoke about this a little bit before, so I'm going to continue on with the sixth one. You defend your right to stay in a relationship with that person that you're soul tied to, even though it's negatively affecting you or it's destroying the connection. Have you experienced any of that?
Like last week when we were talking about my ex, where everybody told me about him, and I would be like, no, I'm gonna make this work. Even my mother knew that he wasn't right for me, but I was so connected to him where it was like, no, I'm gonna make this work. Oh, I love him. So I can relate to that one. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I knew like I shouldn't be with a person, but I kept saying, "Oh, this person is going to change. Things are gonna happen. You know, things are gonna be better." I kept defending the connection, and I kept wanting to make it work, and it was like, no, this is not in my highest good. So I eventually let it go, and I did what was best for me in that scenario.
And that's crazy because even when you know they're lying, like you could tell that they're lying because they go around the question and you be like, okay, it's like you just brush it off because of that strong soul tie.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of us, I'm not even going to say some of us, a lot of us are like, oh, this person would never lie to me, or they're in denial when it's like actual blatant, they're not telling the truth or whatever it is. And you're just like, yeah, I don't think that they could do that to me. And honestly, they are. It wasn't until after I ended my connection that I came to the realization that I believe that my person, was lying to me. And it's sad, but we have to, and we had our little talk about fairy tales last time, and I think that ties into it, where we feel like we're living in a fairy tale and things are set in a way, but we have to be in reality and deal with things that we don't necessarily want to deal with. A lot of times we're dealing with things on a physical level. We have to go within our subconscious. What is your subconscious? What is your heart telling you? And go with it. So now we're at the last topic. Okay. Number 7. You have simultaneous experiences and or moods as the person you're soul tied to. This can even include sickness, accidents, addictions, etc. What about you?
It can happen that way. You can, like, I'm not just saying that you can't, because some people go into relationships and they're perfectly healthy. They're not doing any drugs. They're not drinking. But some people, they make that choice to where when those soul ties connect, they start doing drugs and they start drinking, or they start feeling depressed, or they start feeling jealous because that you don't know what he's thinking of. That could be a reaction to what he is, like being jealous or smoking or drinking or doing drugs. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally can agree. I actually, in a previous relationship, my wine intake actually increased because of my partner. My partner was a heavier drinker, and I was drinking more wine than usual. Like I would have a glass just on a regular, but then I found myself drinking 2 or 3 glasses when I was with him, and it was like, well, what's changing here? So I was aware of that, and I was like, okay, no, I need to do what's best for me, and I had to cut that out. So yeah.
We had family members that been through that, where the other person was addicted to drugs, and being because they had soul ties, the soul ties were so strong, they started doing drugs. And I mean, that's bad because you have to be aware of how strong your soul ties are. You have to look at the relationship and see what's going on, and try to stop that, because it's hard, and it's hard to get rid of soul ties. It's so hard to get rid of soul ties. Like I said before, those soul ties, if you don't get rid of those soul ties, you start attracting the same person over and over again. Liars, stealers. I mean, I could tell you stories, which I will, like bad stories about my relationships and everything that has happened to me because of strong soul ties.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you. And some soul tie cutting regimens that I can recommend that I've done in the past. I do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of praying. I do a lot of self care. I do a lot of meditations as well. Meditation, if you're not familiar with it, it's almost like praying. So if you're familiar with praying, this is another method of getting in touch with you and God, or you and who you believe in. Just centering yourself, grounding yourself, setting boundaries for yourself going forward. Loving yourself, that's a part of the self-care. So that you can, there's also other spiritual aspects that you can take into account if you're into spirituality and stuff like that. I won't go directly into that, but there are other ways to combat this as well, so that you know, because we don't want to leave you hanging. There are ways to combat this. So those are just some ways that you can get on your journey to cutting those soul ties and healing yourself. So yeah, I hope that everything resonated with you in this topic today.
Until next time, we'll see you. We hope that you like this video. Comment. Please subscribe if you like it, our conversations. If you have any ideas, topics that you want us to talk about, comment down below and we'll talk about them.
Yes. So we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.